everyone in here does the equivalent of what you're doing. Everyone in here knows the things they need to stop doing to be more aligned with what people like myself and Mike and Jalen tell y'all need to be done to be successful. But
Hmm.
everyone in here finds a way to somehow not allow themselves to become as successful as they can be. And sometimes unknowingly, there's a fear of becoming successful. Um, so I would challenge you to go into the lock-in to become someone different. Like you have the opportunity to walk into the lock-in. How long is it? It's usually multi-day, right? Is it a few days?
Yes, two and a
Okay.
half days, Tuesday to
Okay.
Thursday.
Meaning, will you share? Are you open to share anything on here? Or are you kind of like more private?
Oh, you
Oh
know
no,
what?
we can talk about it. We can
What
get
do
into
you,
it.
what do
If
you
I
need? What do you need income wise to get out of your flight attendant job? What do you need to make?
Oh Jesus. What do you mean, like
Assume
a
you
month?
don't want to do that forever. I'm assuming that's why
No,
you do insurance, but that was an assumption on my part.
correct.
Okay.
Your
What,
is
how much
correct.
money do you need to deposit in your bank account to go, I'm F this job, I'm doing insurance full time?
30 a month, 30,000 a
You
month.
need to make 30K to walk away from a flight attendant job?
No, my goal is to make 30,000 as soon as possible. So my goal is to earn 10,000 per month within 3 months, because then I would be making my year salary as my flight attendant job. So I just want to replace that salary as
Okay.
soon as possible.
All right. Can I make a suggestion for you to look at it slightly different?
Okay.
And I understand I started in the business part-time and I was a year part-time, which was one of the worst decisions I made ever looking backwards. Right. So let's pretend you make 10K in a month, which is not difficult to do. All right. It's maybe 15 sales, whatever the number might be, depending on how big your sales are, et cetera, your comp, all that. All right. So it's three a week. Right. You work 3 or 4 days a week. It's make one sale a day. To make one sale a day, you get 4 or 5 presentations in, you can suck ass and make one sale a day. Right. Now the battle is, how do you get 4 or 5 presentations in a day? You ain't gonna do it on 50 phone calls, probably. Right. But if I told you, if we were on an airplane and I said, if you don't make 50 phone calls in 1 hour, I'm going to throw you out of the airplane. Would you be able to make 50 phone calls in 1 hour?
Easy.
Okay. So you're not only part-time, you're like ultra, 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 super duper part-time.
Yeah.
You're almost no time, right? So to
Yep.
make a couple grand or whatever you said your number was in a month, working almost zero is really good. Right? And if you have the ability to get to 10 grand, or so if you're making 30 grand in a year, you're making 3 grand a month, you're making under $1,000 a week, 700 bucks a week, whatever, in that
Yeah.
ballpark, right? So to go, I make 700 bucks a week full time, flying all over the country, inconvenient as shit, staying in hotels very inconveniently, working crazy hours, dealing with dipshits all day long, like drunk people, the pilots you may or may not like, the people that probably hit on you while you're on the plane, all the shit you deal with. Full time hours, and you make 700 bucks a week. Why do you have to make 2,500 a week, no time, in order to be confident switching to this career? You have to make 4 times the income part time to believe in yourself enough to go full time. You want to make 4 extra income on 1/10 of the hours. Just don't put yourself in a position to where you can't win,
Hmm.
because you're asking yourself, not that it's not possible, but sometimes we put the goal so far out because we're uncomfortable to make change and we don't believe in ourselves to do something new, you know? Meaning,
Hmm.
imagine if you could make 700 bucks a week part time and then go, shit, imagine what I could do full time, you know? So, what I would do if I'm you going into the lock in, I would go into it with a mentality that you literally just got fired. Do you have family, kids, anything? Or are you on your own?
Not yet.
Okay. Do you live with parents or you live by yourself?
I do, yeah, with
Okay,
my parents.
cool. All right. Why do you want to make that kind of money? What's behind it?
Um, honestly,
Preferably.
like, yeah. No,
I'm
it's
playing.
just for the
I
free,
can't help
like
it.
to be able to, like, honestly, just to be able to, like, to be for that and for that independence, right? Like, my parents are literally coming to me, but I'm with them, and so it's just like I need to be able to contribute and pour into them, and really, first and foremost, myself, like, literally, just like that freedom and earning that independence.
Okay. Have you ever been scared in life? Like scared shit, like, and then you just make something happen just out of straight fear?
Um, mm, I don't think so. No. No, I think just out of determination. So it's one thing I've had like a health issue that it overcame, which was I was scared during that. But then there was just me wanting, having the desire to like live and teach abroad. Like I did everything that I could possibly to make that happen, but that wasn't necessarily like a pressure of being scared or anything like that.
I like the pressure. So the feeling that you had when you were when you said you did whatever it took to make that work abroad thing happen. You know
Hmm.
that thing we have inside?
Right.
I don't know how to give that to people. I wish I did.
You can't. Yeah, you
It's
can't.
situational, right? And everybody's different. What brings that on? I don't know how to put someone in a corner and make that come out of someone. But we all tend to know how to make that come out of ourselves. We tend to know ourselves really well. I'm really good at putting myself in situations that I can scare myself to perform at a high level. I'm
Mhm.
really good at it. I use all kinds of crazy analogies, but if I'm you, I walk into the lock-in as if I just got fired and I'm not going to be able to take care of my family anymore. And I want you to go into that lock-in like it's 3 days of actual full-time, like I'm going to kill it at this lock-in to take care of
Yeah.
my parents so I can be independent. So I don't ever have to go back and serve, you know, vodka tonics to assholes, right? Whatever that is for you, find something into, don't go into the lock-in like, what script do you use, Mike? Please don't go into it like that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Don't go around and asking all the broke people what leads they buy. Don't try to find, like, don't go into it like that. Go
Hmm.
in there to mother effing kill it. And if you go at it, you will stand out from everybody else at the lock in who's trying to find every reason possible to not make phone calls. And guys like Mike and whoever else is going to be there, I know a lot of people that work at your company, they will see that. And if you can get real live coaching, which you will, because you're making so many phone calls, it will change your world in those 3 days versus hypothetical training. Don't go in there. What if they say this? What if that? What if this? What if that? Those are the worst kind of questions you can ask in that setting. You want, like, hey, Mary just told me to F off. What do I do on the next call? Hey, I just got hung up on asking for the social. What do I do next? Preferably someone will start hearing you, right? Those settings are really good for an environment like Mike and Jalen and all the people over there. But you want to go into it like you don't have a job to go back to,
Hmm.
and you have to make 5K in 3 days. And I'm crazy. I'd be like, I have to make 5K in 3 days, or like Maddox gets sent to prison overseas. I can't see him until I do it. I'm weird. I come up with cuckoo stuff to make myself focus
Yeah.
on a goal. And I can put myself in a mental spot that just nothing will stop me. I just, if that's an ability to have, I can tune out the world, you know? So I would go in there and I would write down activity goals that are so uncomfortable for you, like obnoxiously uncomfortable. Like I don't leave the building until I make 750 phone calls. Not 50, not 100, not 200, not 300. Dude, anyone can do that.
Hmm.
Literally anyone can make 300 phone calls. Maddox is 14. He can make 300 phone calls before lunch. Put a stretch activity goal. Not I ain't mad at a stretch dollar goal, but put an obnoxiously high stretch activity goal. and don't leave the building till you hit it. And really come out of there learning what you're made of. Does it make sense? Because
It
some
makes
people walk out of
perfect
there
sense.
and they do the same shit they did walking in. It's just
Yeah.
an excuse to say they're going to work so they can get away from their family. Half the people will be drunk at night at the dinner party and do, you know what I mean? And not really come out of there doing anything. So go in there with an agenda to change your world. And don't be afraid to stretch your vision, you know? And again, I like the 30K a month thing. That was cool. But I don't see the activity behind it. So to me, that says you're putting a number that you don't believe you can hit, so you don't ever have to get uncomfortable and leave the job. So
Oh
I
no,
want you, and this is just my assessment
mhm.
subconsciously. I don't think you're doing it on purpose, right? There's these whole, you can get in the psychology law of the lid and how we stretch ourselves and the way we think and our surroundings. I could talk about this shit for 4 hours, you know? So I think put yourself a crazy uncomfortable activity goal. And if I'm in your position, I'm trying to be the first one in the lock-in making, I'm trying to be the first one in making phone calls, and I'm trying to be the last one to leave making phone calls. Whoever does that, whether it's you or someone else, whoever shows up first and starts dialing and whoever leaves last, if it's the same person 3 days in a row, that person will statistically win over everybody else.
Mhm. Yeah.
Make sense?
This is so fire. Yeah, it's definitely just me being too comfortable. And so yeah, I have to put that I get to put that pressure on me to like it's either this or nothing. So I really appreciate
Mhm.
it. Thank you so much, John.
When is the lock-in?
January 27th through the 29th.
All right. You on Instagram?
Yes.
I want you to tag me with your goals. And then all 3 days, I want you to tag me with your activity at the end of the day because I won't
I got
forget.
I got you. Thank
All right.
you.
You're welcome. All right. Who was that? Was that Michael next?
Yeah, that was me.
Cool. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? Appreciate you, man, being on this call. My
Have
question
we
to
met
you is,
before? You look familiar.
yeah, we have.
I
Yeah,
thought so.
yeah, definitely. Um, Question. So, what was your mindset? I know that you've done 200 million and 500 million is coming soon, but I know that you've done 200 million. What was your mindset to when you hit that first half million, when you hit that first million in your agency? The reason I'm asking that, so I'm at the beginning stages of starting my agency. You know, Mike and Jalen are helping me out, and I'm trying to get from producer to agency owner. And what was your mindset when you got to that first half million, when you got to that first million?
Sure. Why do you think, when you said I'm trying to get from producer to agency producer, you say it like they're two different people. They can't be just one
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, that's that's also I'm asking you too. So yeah,
Like I got a magic pen right here. You ready? Like I'm gonna like bop it on your head and I'm gonna make you an agency guy right now. Like there you go. You're now an agency guy too.
yeah,
Just like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
My mindset coming into this business was I'm gonna build a fucking machine. I don't know how. I don't have a clue how, but I know, dude, that people need lead. I know that here's one thing I'm 100% confident in. You see other people in the industry building, correct?
Yes, yes, I do.
Plenty of them. There's
Yeah,
a gajillion of them. Some
yes,
better than others, some bigger, some smaller, some different companies, that company, this company, different, whatever.
right.
Do you believe they have anything you don't have? Like there's some magic to it? Or are you a kind of guy that believes you can do what someone else can do?
I'm definitely the guy that believes I can do what someone else can do.
Okay. So all of us, we just start. We
Right.
don't think there's any magic to the what or the how. We just are willing to mess it up. So then
Mhm.
the next question for you, Michael, is are you willing to make a complete mess of it? Or are you nervous to mess it up?
I am nervous to mess it up.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit
yeah,
at all.
yeah.
Zero do I care that I mess something up. Now, do I prefer to do it the right way? Yes. Do I think I have any shot ever of doing all of this correct? 0%.
Right.
And I'll tell you this. Today, I don't know the next step. I don't know how to get to the next level. John Wetmore doesn't know how to get to 300 million. I have no fucking idea how to do it. Why? I ain't done it yet, dude. You know what I mean? I don't know what this year brings. I don't
Yeah.
know the move to make tomorrow. I don't have a clue, bro.
Hmm.
And so I think a lot of people look at us, dude, people like myself and others, and think we got it all figured out. And I'd argue, bro, you have a playbook from 7.4 million people who have done it before you.
Hmm.
I don't have that many people who have done 300 million before me to like get a big playbook. And most of them don't damn share anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like you have a blueprint to follow, right? So for you, I want you to feel more comfort in that there are people that can recognize and help you fix your mistakes, and they're less your mistakes now at your stage affect way less people than my mistakes right now. I
Right.
make a mistake right now, dude, it trickles down to a lot of people,
Right. Right.
right? So you don't have a lot of weight on your shoulders today. You just have you just have fear of walking into a dark room of the unknown of what it's like, and that's okay.
Hmm.
Right. So for me, the mindset has never been 500,000, a million, 2 million, 100 million, 50. None of that. I've never had that. And to be honest, I've never taught someone how to build an agency doing a million a month. Not even doing 500 grand a month, dude.
Okay.
I teach people really simple. Our goal was to teach. In my world, we have a VP level. Y'all probably have something similar. And honestly, it's probably the same fucking amount of volume as ours. Um, I've sat with your guys early on years ago and kind of went over comp, and you know, I'm sure a lot of it's similar. But like we have a VP level, right? It's 150 grand a month. So if someone's trying to, and then for me, from production standpoint, I believe your entire world will change over 30K a month. So I'm a big 40K guy,
Right.
10K a week, 40K a month. If you're selling under 20 grand, and no one in here will argue with me, you're broke. If you sell under 20 grand, you have no
No,
money.
for real, you are. You are.
Okay. So then why do we keep pushing for 20 like it's something? 20 means you're broke. So if you're building, number one, be honest with people. You can't tell people they can issue 8 grand a month and have any money because they're not going to have any money. Now, if they do this part-time and they save it all on the side, cool. You can get a nice little savings account. You can probably buy a nicer car. You can probably pay off a couple credit card bills. But to do this full time and make 6, 8, 10 or issue or submit, as some people even track, 8, 10, 12, 14, 20, that you have no money. Okay. So for me, my mindset was let me go out and show how much do you sell yourself, Michael? Where are you at sales wise? What'd you issue in
Um,
2025?
how much was it? It was actually a little over 115,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you ain't right. You ain't changing your life financially yet.
No.
Okay.
No.
So I need you to understand that issuing 115 grand is like the kiddie table at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's cute, but it ain't going to change your world, and you're
Right.
not doing anything phenomenal in the industry. It's not, no offense to it, and maybe you don't want to, but I'm assuming you do,
I do.
right?
And I
So
actually said that. I said that. I was like, yeah, that's cute. I don't want that no more.
yeah, but I bet your activity numbers are cute too,
Yeah, you're right.
right? So it's like for me, and I'll reverse engineer this whole thing. I challenge everybody, and I've screamed this for since 2015, 10, going on 11 years. Almost everyone in here would probably tell me they're full time. And what I learned is the average insurance agent defines full time as this is all they do for work. John Wetmore defines full time as 40 hours prospecting and presenting, period. 40 hours dialing the phone or presenting on the phone. like as if I had a timer sitting next to you. And the second you hang up the phone, the timer turns off. The only time the timer is running is when the phone is ringing or you're speaking to someone. Does that make sense?
Yes.
As if you were like an attorney billing for hours. You had your iPhone there or one of those little chess. You see people play chess and they hit that little thing with the timer next to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and those exist. You can actually go on Amazon and buy one. You can buy a little thing that's a timer. And when the phone's ringing, you can hit it. And when you hang it up, you can hit it and turn it off. Now, I just do it with basic math. It takes a minute for a phone call. I can do 60 an hour. If I do 10 hours a week, it's 600 phone calls. For you people that suck at math, I apologize. Just stop it, re-enter it in ChatGPT. It'll help you out, right? But like 1 minute per phone call is nobody's going to argue it takes longer than that. If you talk to someone and present, certainly it takes longer. So I did it based on numbers. And so I knew how many phone calls, how many presentations, and how many, and I included recruiting calls in my 40 hours. I generally don't say that because most people aren't doing that, right? So for me, it was prospecting, presenting, and recruiting calls. That's how John did it. Most agents, I just tell prospecting and presenting because most people aren't building, right? So if you can reverse engineer, if you want to build something big, dude, no one's excited to follow a guy, no offense, that does
No.
115 grand.
Exactly.
No one is excited about that.
Right.
So if you want to build, you have to learn how to promote your guys that are making money. So if you want to bring people in, tell them, dude, don't listen to anything I say. I'm trying to learn from Mike and Jalen. Listen to them. You can recruit and build now.
Yeah.
You can get them started. You can get them in the door. But literally scream out loud, don't follow what I do. I'm figuring it out still.
Right.
I can tell you how to get on the training calls. I can tell you how to get leads. I can tell you how to get licensed. I can tell you how to get contracted. I can do all that shit. But for the rest, follow them. That's the only thing you should do right now.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, at the end of the day, dude, you are still trying to figure it out.
Right.
Now, if you want to be a leader, start leading.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and again, you got to come up with some kind of way. I will never believe that you sit around 7 days a week and feel at the end of the day that you killed it with phone calls. I don't believe anyone will argue that with me. Right? So you've got to find a way to make enough phone calls, and whatever the excuse is, it is. I don't have enough leads. Okay. You don't have to call leads. There's been trillions of insurance sold in the last 100 years with no leads. Should you call leads? Yes. Are there cheap leads? Yes. But if you're broke as shit and you're not making phone calls, dude, call someone. Do something. Knock on doors cold. I don't care. Do prospect. We're all in sales. Dude, I travel a lot. The overwhelming majority of people in the airport when I travel are salespeople going all across the country to prospect to sell their product. Again, should you call leads? Yes. But when you're doing nothing, whatever excuse it is that you're making to not prospect, you just got to learn to cut it out. Right? Because everyone in here has different excuses. I've heard them all. And if we tallied everybody's, we'd have under 10 total excuses. They're just like client excuses. Right? And if you believe them, it's like believing clients that say they're going to think about it and call you on Tuesday. It's just you're lying to yourself typically. Right? So as you start, have you ever read one of my favorite books ever is called 5 Levels of Leadership, John Maxwell? I
have not read it. I know about the book. I have not read that though.
Anyone that wants to lead people should read that book like next.
Yeah.
And I'll give the short version is it gives you the perspective of how other people view you as a leader. You have literally no control over it. Meaning I get on here, some people know me, some people don't. The ones that do know me look at me differently than the ones that don't. The ones that don't know me instantly look at me differently when Mike says all the nice things about me. It raises my perception from other people. So it's the way other people see you, right? Meaning the people in my son's 8th grade class parents don't give a shit when John Wetmore talks. They don't care. They don't care at all what I have to say. Why? Because I don't do anything in their business. You know what I mean? A guy that applies to an ad of mine that's cold and I call him, dude, he could think I'm the janitor. He doesn't care who I am. Right? But you can control the way people view you based on certain activities. So I want you to read the book to understand it. One of the ways to control the way people look at you as a leader is for you to be at the top of the leaderboard, bro. Why do you guys listen to everything I say or take it the way you do and say it's fire, great stuff, love? Why? Just because I have a track record, dude. That's it. That's the only reason. Had I not done that, nobody would give a shit what I say. Right? And so you have to understand that you're playing kind of two games with this. You not only have to go out and sell and lead from a standpoint of like I want to hire people, but you have to be really intentional in the way you're bringing people in and how they view you. You know, and the book talks a lot about how to do that in different ways. But you start laying down 10K a week, which some people think sounds impossible. But you do this business long enough and you learn it's just a bunch of hard work. Now, do I want to do it 52 weeks a year for the next 10 years, what it takes to sell 10K a week selling life insurance? Please no. It's a heavy schedule. I'm not confused by that. It's a lot of no's. It's a lot of negativity. It's a lot of getting turned down, and you know what I mean? It's a lot of, you deal with a lot of stuff. So the people that don't build and they sell that kind of volume for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, dude, they get burnt out. And then you change your lifestyle and you have to sell 10K a week to pay your bills. That sucks ass too. So it's not an end all be all. I only sold life insurance full time for 3 years. If anyone's confused, there's people in this room, I bet, that have sold more insurance than me. But I was a savage when I was in the field. When I figured it out. My first 2 years, for those that know the story, the first several years, I didn't do much of shit. I was a punk. I barely worked. I quit a couple times. Like I was what I yell at, quite frankly. And for those that don't know, if you haven't read the book or any of the things that this, I don't have time for the whole story now, but I was mediocre at best for several years. But once I realized my activity will lead to money, and all I had to do was learn how to ignore the noise in the middle, which is what slows everyone down. Because if I said, make 500 phone calls tomorrow and I wire you $5,000, no strings, everyone in here would do it. But suddenly, because they tell you no and yell at you and hang up on you and are mean to you, you don't do it. We're that weak mentally that you'll only do it if I hand it to you with no strings. You know what I mean? What if I said, yo, I'll put you on payroll. I'll put you on my payroll. But you have to run 50 appointments a week. I don't care if you sell any. You're on my payroll, 10K a week, but you have to present 50 times. I literally don't care what they say. It's a project funded by fucking Elon Musk. 50 presentations. I put you on John Wetmore's payroll. Every Friday, wire 10K. Straight cash. Do you miss? So why do you miss when it's not guaranteed? There's some psychology there, dude. I'm not the wizard that knows how to explain it. I was talking to a guy by DM, and if you're on here, it'd be funny, but I don't know who the guy was. But he was talking to me about dialing. I think it was on or around one of the holidays. It might have been Christmas Eve, potentially. Could have been Christmas Day, Thanksgiving Day. I don't remember which one. But I'm a big fan of working on them, and I think people are weird. You can't work on a holiday, dude. You know how many companies are open on holidays, and how many sports games are open on holidays, and how many movie theaters are open on holidays, and how many government offices are open on holidays. And imagine like you have a fire on a holiday and you call the police or call the fire station, like, holiday, what are you calling me for? That's so rude. You know what I mean? Someone dies, you call 911. They're like, why are you calling me on a holiday, asshole? You'd be like, what? Right? But we come up with reasons why we can't do stuff. So I'm talking to this guy, and he's like, I tell him to dial that day. And he's like, well, I don't, want to be rude to people. I just think calling them on this holiday can be rude. I said, let me ask you a question, bro. It was Christmas, because my example to him. I said, if I put $1 million cash in a box wrapped in Christmas wrapping paper, and I put $1 million in cash under your Christmas tree, and said the only way you can open the box is by making 500 phone calls on Christmas Day, would you make 500 phone calls for that $1 million cash? He was like, hell yeah. I was like, so then your concern isn't really what the clients think. Because if I give you $1 million, no longer do you give a shit if it's rude or not. So the reality is you have some kind of mental block that's stopping you from doing it. So you got to figure out how to get over that mental block, because you carry that mental block with you 365 days a year. Just today is the excuse is Christmas. Tomorrow the excuse will be something else. You know, so I think for you, number one, dude, is you got to get over whatever's causing you to only sell 115K when complete dipshits sell 400K a year at will, all day, every day. You got to figure out how to get over that. That will raise your standards of how people look at you. That makes recruiting significantly easier, like 20x easier. Do you know how easy it is for me to recruit today, bro? It's comical. It's comical how easy it is. I literally don't have to do anything. I literally just sit here and wait for people to call me now. I do nothing, and I recruit every day by literally doing nothing, although I do a lot. But I don't have to do what you do to recruit anymore. I don't even have to do what Mike and Jalen do anymore. I don't have to do any of that. Why? Because I have put enough into this activity-wise where the momentum is caught in the 5 levels of leadership, dude. I've done so much for so many people in the industry. A lot of people want to work with me, dude. I got people paying me for coaching from company. I'm coaching people at companies at competitors all the time. Why? Because I have built relationships with people at different companies. I ain't trying to steal their damn people, and I teach them how to make a shit ton of money, which in turns makes me a bunch of money. It's dope, right? So I say when I'm talking about 500 grand, what I learned was the right way to think was, number one, it's not two different things. Selling and building in this industry are not two different things. Now, recruiting and training are two different things. A lot of y'all are afraid to recruit because you think you have to train them also. Those can be two separate things. You can recruit and never train. Preferably, to be clear, never train for most of you. Just recruit. And if you believe in what you do, why would you not bring someone else in to get them to also believe in what y'all do and learn along with you? You go, why? I want to wait till I'm good. Dude, no offense. What if you're never good? I didn't need you to be good to do well. Why do you think they need you to be good? Mike didn't need you to become good. What the hell you think your new recruit needs you to be good for? Does it help if you're good? Hell yes. But it's not like what's the word you want to use? A prerequisite. You know, you have to be good at certain things. You have to be good at promoting if you want to recruit when you're not good at selling. So if you're not good at selling yet, or you choose to not sell enough where your numbers aren't good, you have to be really good at promoting. That will get people in. You get out of the way and you keep doing that, Mike will love you, right? And then to get to that 500K, a million K, my deal was, let me just teach people how to become profitable quick. If I can get people paid quick, teach them how to reinvest in leads and become profitable really fast, they stay. And my goal was to teach as many people as possible how to get a bare minimum of 20K a month, because at least then they can scrape by. You know what I mean? You can at least pay your bills. You can at least live a little. You can at least do a little something. You're not going to be the rich guy in the family, but you can at least do something. You know what I mean? You can eat decent. You ain't gonna be on welfare. You don't have to cut coupons every week for grocery. You know what I mean? You get to live a little nicer. But I really wanted to, out of the people that I taught to make 20K, because they'll stay, I then wanted to see who stood out next that I can get to 40K, because 40K is obnoxiously profitable. It's hard to even explain the difference between 20 and 40. So many agents fear it's just spending more, and it's not just that. Again, we could train on that for hours. But I really want to take the 20K crew and go, hey, who's different than the rest? Come over here. Let me teach you how to get to 40 plus. Right? And so for me to get to people to a VP level, dude, which is 150K, is it the same in y'all's world, Mike? Is 150K like a thing? Is it a level, a VP level, or whatever it's called? Cool. So my goal was to help people to get to 40K first and then to VP level. And no offense, to get to VP, dude, if you're slinging 40K yourself, you only need, 110K combined outside of that. Maybe 10 people? Maybe 10 people selling? Right? I mean, no offense, dude. I could teach a monkey how to get 10 people selling. It's not that difficult. And the averages are going to average out. So if I'm killing it myself and I get 10 more people selling, you're now VP. 150K a month, you're doing 40 on your own pen, you got 100 you're getting overrides on. Dude, even if you're at 10 points in overrides, you're getting 10K a month. That probably pays most people's bills, and it's probably more than most people in here are making. Right? So I can get you selling 40K, 100K team. Now you're making 50, 60K a month. Dude, you ain't going nowhere, bro. And then I teach you what it's like to make six figures, and then I start teaching how to get to another level. But me, it was 40K and VP. Then just wash, rinse, repeat. And the guy who becomes VP, so say you do find 10 people. Dude, I'm gonna treat them all like they're direct to me, and I'm gonna find someone in your 10 that you don't know how to identify yet. And I'm gonna go, yo, come over here. And I'm gonna teach him how to become a VP too, and him how to get to 40K too. So it became learning how to do it at a high level, teaching someone how to do it at a high level, and then teaching this person to teach this person to do it at a high level. Meaning, if I can't teach Mike how to teach Michael Scott how to get people to 40K and become a VP, I have to work with that leg for the rest of the time. If I can teach Mike and Jalen how to teach it, that can scale. And then I just find another leg and do the same thing. But that was it, dude. Teach people 40K, teach people 150K team wise, and just watch, rinse, repeat that over and over and over and over again. You teach a few people how to do that. Again, you teach a guy how to do 40 and go to 150, and that happens in depth a couple times. That leg's doing $500,000 overnight. You do that 2 or 3 times, now you're doing a couple million a month. You know what I mean? I built this whole thing with 3 real leaders. I didn't have 50. There were other people in there that led, but like legit, like all in, like psychopath like me. There's only 3 of us, 3 others. So
Yeah.
4 of us total.
Man, I'm writing everything down, man. Thank you so much. I'm writing everything down. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Who's next? Yeah, you, Mike?
No, you're just hilarious.
Why is that?
I got a question for you. So, what do you think is stopping people outside activity to get to 40K a month?
They're
Slow,
scared.
that's stopping them to get to 40K a month in
They're scared.
production. Scared? Okay.
They're scared. Sometimes it's support from someone else in their family. That happens a lot. You tend to not get support when you have a track record of not doing the shit you say you're going to do. That tends to coincide with it. You know what I mean? When you always say, I'm going to do this, and then you don't do this, the people around you tend to not really want to support you. And I've learned, dude, that a spouse that says like you work too much tends to only say that to the broke person. And it's not that all spouses are like money driven necessarily, but if you change their life and you make your family rich and your kids get to go to private school and you get to donate what you want to church and you get to go on the vacations you want to go to and you have the house you want and you get to take care of your family the way you want, dude, I promise your spouse will stay out of the way more. Like it just is what it is. I think people overthink the investment in leads. Like I think people are broken as fuck when it comes to that. I see people make a couple grand. They'll spend $500 on leads, $1,000 on leads, make a couple grand, make a few grand, and then be like, well, I'm gonna limp in on leads this week and pay this off instead. You know what I mean? Like imagine if I don't know. I gave you you had to stick your card into an ATM machine and it charged you $500. But every time it charged you $500, the next day or 2 days later, it's like one of those things, those old school scams that used to be in the newspapers. If you mail me $5, we mail you back $50. Some of you are too young to know that. I know there's some old folks in here that know what I'm saying. But like, imagine you go to an ATM and you put it in as $500 is charged, and then magically 2 grand gets deposited in your account the next day. Who would stop going to that ATM? No one. But when you put in, you have to make phone calls and close deals and get yelled at and have chargebacks and get hung up on in the middle. That's where people freak out, which typically comes from belief in themselves, dude. I think sadly, most people don't believe in themselves, which is sad. It's sad that people don't believe in themselves, and I think that goes to probably people's circle. I think people around them are really negative. I think most humans are negative as shit. I think when you try to do this and someone on the outside looking in sees it, they talk shit about it and you believe it. You already kind of half believe it anyway. But then when something negative happens and your circle goes, told you, you should have just had the job, told you that don't work. That's a scam, told you. That doesn't help. Right? So you gotta learn how to build yourself strong mentally to not listen to the noise in life because everyone's gonna have it. That's probably a strength of mine. I don't give a shit what people think at all. Like zero, do I care? I don't care at all. Like zero. Um, maybe that's an insecurity, maybe it's not. I don't know. Which is weird because I'm kind of mushy inside and have feelings in the weirdest kind of way. But like if my cousin says that's stupid, I just don't care. But I know a lot of people struggle with that, dude. But I think when people look at what someone selling 40K a month is typically going to say they're spending 4 to 6K probably on leads. And I've learned how to convince myself I don't spend that much, even though I do. Right. In the sense of, and I always use funny examples. But if me and you, Mike, we went to Vegas with $1,000, okay? And we go to the blackjack table, we put $1,000 down on blackjack and we walk away with $3,000. What did we profit? We put 1,000 down, we walk away with 3. We're up 2, right? And then let's say we take that same $1,000, we put the $2,000 in our right pocket and we put the 1,000 in our left pocket, and then we walk to, I don't know, the poker table. And we put that same $1,000 down and we win another $2,000. Now we're up 4, correct? And what did we spend so far in Vegas? Just 1,000. Okay. But if I spend $1,000 in leads and I make $3,000 and I put the $2,000 profit in my savings account and I take that same $1,000 and I spend it next week on leads, why do we say we spent $2,000? I just want to know. And then we do it again the third week and we say we spent $3,000. But if we went to then the craps table with that same 1,000 and we won another $2,000 and we come home from Vegas, we tell everyone we only spent 1,000. We wouldn't go, we spent 1,000 on poker and then 1,000 on blackjack and 1,000 on craps. We would never say that. Right. And so reinvesting messes people up because they look at it as such a weird way, in such a weird way. Now, am I delusional in that I've twisted it because I know I can write off $6,000 when I spend $6,000 at the end of the year with tax? Yes, I'm aware I'm delusional, but it works for me mentally. And I believe it just the same way I believe it in Vegas because that 1,000 was at risk. But if you put the activity behind it, that's a game of luck and people look at it in a positive way. Here we can control it with everything with activity for the most part, especially if you combine activity with being a nut job about training and getting coached. Because to learn what we do isn't that hard. Most people just do a really shitty job at learning their craft. Most people don't put any time into studying their craft. There's people who have been doing this for, God, obnoxious amounts of time, months and months and months and months, and still don't know what to do with the basic medications, still don't know basic underwriting, still don't know basic objection handling. And they've been here 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, and still don't know what's on page 1 of the manual. Bro, that's pathetic, dude. Now we have to go, all right, whose fault is that? Right? Now it gets sticky. Is it their fault? Is it your fault, bro? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like now we gotta go. And I know your type is like, shit, it's my fault. How do I make it better for them? You know what I'm saying? It's like, but we have to be real with people, dude. Most people look at the upside of this thing and they want to get rich and make multi-six figures and they treat it like worse than a hobby. They put nothing into it. For me, dude, I was studying this thing 24/7, bro. I listened to content after content after content. I found a couple people that I aligned with that I liked their style. And instead of learning from 700 people, I learned from like 3, dude. 3 that I related to really well. and I consumed all their shit. And I would consume their stuff. And the very next day, I would try to implement it. And I would consume their stuff late at night and early in the morning, never when I should be working. And then I would consume it, and then I would try to implement it. And then I would listen to what I said and realize, damn, that ain't what they said. And I would study their thing again, and then I would try it the next day. And then I would listen to what I said, and I go, damn, that still sucked. And then I would listen to their thing, and slowly over time, dude, because I was trying it, listening to my own voice, studying theirs and comparing it, I wasn't bugging the shit out of people all day long. Like, what script did you use this week, Mike? Dude, none of that shit matters. Have y'all seen my content? All of it. I'm slinging insurance and telesales because I'm so sick of people saying it's hard. I was so tired of people saying it, dude. And I'm like, F y'all, watch me. I'm doing it in like 10 hours a week, dude. I issued 40K last month selling final expense leads. Like, give me a break. This is one of the easiest things possible. And I share all of it. I do it live in my Discord, which y'all can all get in. It's all on my YouTube. You can watch all of it. And is there structure? Yes. But dude, you're telling me that you have a script when someone starts, and y'all seen my content. If you haven't seen my content, you won't get this one. But when the lady's telling you all she wants for Christmas is a boob job, that ain't in the script. You know what I mean? Like, you got to learn how to get good with people. That's what's the important part. Is there structure? Yes. Should you follow structure? Yes. You know what's crazy, Mike? Is most people know what to say on the phone, but they're too damn scared to do it the way you say. They're too afraid to say, all right, what's next? What's next, Mike, is I got to go through some underwriting questions, verify your health stuff, and then we're going to go through the process of underwriting. So I'm going to need your social so I can pull your medical information. Then I'll need your payment information so we can get you some insurance today. Is that okay? 99% of agents won't say it, even though we tell them to say it. Why do you say it? So you get the objection now instead of later. It's not that deep, you know, but people are afraid, dude. Just people are afraid, which is weird because I'm like, aren't you afraid to keep living the way you're living? Doesn't it scare you to wake up tomorrow living the exact same way? Does it not scare you for, like, it's the beginning of January, to have next Christmas be the shitty as this Christmas? That scared me, dude. It still scares me. I work my face off because I'm scared of going backwards, bro. You know, and I just think most people don't take it serious enough and they're scared. And they overcomplicate it, dude. This is not a complicated business. And the average client we're talking to is so uneducated, and they aren't going to ask any of the questions you think they're going to ask. What if they say this? Like, all that what if, we all do it. What if, and then you insert words. Does anyone disagree that whatever words come after what if are completely made up? Does anyone disagree with that? Okay. So if you're going to make shit up, why not make up some good stuff? Like, what if they pick up? What if they say yes? What if you sell 10K next week? What if you issue 40K next week? What if you're number one on the leaderboard next month? You know, I mean, there's countless times, dude. You know me, I get people to triple dial, and most people are afraid to call 3 times in a row. How many people call us back and they're like, man, the only reason we called you back is because you called 3 times in a row. I mean, it's just people's activity. So much of the approach is just wrong, and they've convinced themselves that they're doing everything they can to win. You know, that's why I'm so direct with people, bro. And for you to continue to get to the next level, you're going to have to call people out in the nicest way possible, respectfully, of course. But at the end of the day, dude, so many people are going to tell you that they want to kill it and they're willing to do anything. Do you know how many people I have apply to my coaching? In the messages at the end, it's like, I'll do whatever you say. And I reply and I say, sign up here. And they don't do that. I'm like, step 1, they don't do. They'll do anything except sign up. They'll do anything except pay. They'll do anything except what we tell them, bro. You know, so for you to get to that next level, dude, you need another leader. And I don't know if you know who that is yet, but you're going to have to start calling some people out, because otherwise, with the amount of people you have, your time is going to be eaten alive, bro. And just don't let people BS you. You know what I mean? They're lying to themselves every day. Just don't let them lie to you too. You know? And some people really want it and some don't. Some just say they want it because it feels good and they're supposed to say it. Most people are going to give you the answer they think you want to hear. That's why when people ask me questions, I ask 400 questions back before I answer them. Because I want complete clarity. Because I can help anyone in here get 40K issue, as can you. But the reality is most aren't willing to do what it takes. But they say the words like they're supposed to. because it feels good. You know what I mean? And that's a tough part of growing in this business, dude, is you're gonna have a tough time because you're gonna want to continue talking to people that you've been talking to forever, and you got nothing new to tell them, bro. There's no new tricks. There's nothing new. So you're at a stage, dude, where if they ain't talking to you about building, unless you're just bored out of your trees or you like talking about the sunshine and the weather, like most of these people, anything you tell them about the script or sales, you've already said 100 times. You know, so now it's time for you to watch who's really ready to step up and change their family. And that's how you guys grow as a company, you know. And the ones that want to sit on the sidelines, dude, again, you have everyone in here make a list of all the dumb shit you do all day long that you know you shouldn't do, that you tell yourself you're going to quit doing, all the bad habits that you have, that you said you were going to get rid of in January, that you still haven't gotten rid of, all the negative thinking, all the self-development you said you were going to do, all the hard work you said you were going to do. And most haven't changed anything, dude. And they know it. So don't let people trick you and pretend they don't know it. No different than you know all the dumb shit you do, and I know all the dumb shit I do. Because we're all imperfect, you know? And I don't know. That's all of that is why people don't do what you want them to do. Issue paid and why they're behind and shit, dude. All of you need to find out why you're doing this. Like deep down, why? And when times get tough, you've got to take that why and push through. You know, if you don't have a real deep reason why you're going, no different than if you don't find a real deep why with a client, you probably ain't gonna sell them some damn insurance, straight up. You know, but if you don't, because again, if I put someone in a situation, bro, where like your most loved family member dies tomorrow if you don't do insert whatever it is you say you're gonna do. The things you've said you want this year, whatever those are, insert that now. Your most loved family member dies tomorrow if you don't insert your goal. Everyone in here would be different. You know? So it's like, I just found a way to not forget that every day. You know, I have an exercise. I've given it to everybody. If you do johnwetmore.com/resources, johnwetmore.com/resources, there's like a little goals and schedule exercise. You know, for me, one of the things I did most was I put my goals down, and I've trained on this 100 times. The short version is I put my goals down, and then I figured out, all right, what do I have to do time-wise? Like with my actual time, not hypothetically wise, like literally what do I have to do activity-wise to hit that goal? But more importantly, if I'm going to put some new activity in, let's just say I'm in, I'll do 40 hours of prospecting and presenting. Cool. You now have to remove something time-wise that's in your life right now that's occupying your 24 hours in a day. So for me, I had that list in front of me every day, dude. I had goals. I had my activity goals that I had to hit. Again, y'all have seen it a million times, so I won't tell them all, but I had, and they're in the video. Y'all get an email if you do that, and you'll get videos to watch that explain all this shit. Just watch the videos. Don't just skip to the worksheet. But I also had the things I had to remove out of my life. I'm a big fan of removing things out of my life that don't suit me. You know, I'm just, oh, dude, this Christmas Eve was a year I haven't had an alcohol drink. And I like to drink. But why? I had to remove it from my life in order to add other things. It was getting in my way. It was interfering with stuff. You know, I like to challenge myself. So I had the list of goals, things I have to add daily to hit those goals, and things I had to remove from my life in order to add new things. I got to remove these things. And that list stayed where I dialed, and I had it on like my mirror in the bathroom. I had it on the fridge at the house, and I just saw that every day. You know, so for me, when I have goals, dude, I'm a guy that chases them actively every day. I seek them. You know, so I think if you get more people believing in themselves, but making the goals like an active exercise, not just put them on a piece of paper and hope like shit at the end of the year they magically appear. I chase my goals every single day when I wake up. And when I go to bed, you think I'm on this because just for fun? Like I do like helping you guys, but I have massive fucking goals, dude. And this is just encompassed in my goals. My goal, my part of one of my goals is to affect the industry as a whole, not just my team, not just my company, not just my agency, not just the industry. That's why I do a lot of the things I do. You know, hell, I've been on the road for 7 days. I just got home 2 hours ago. I have not been in my house for 7 days. I'm traveling to events. I had some business meetings. I flew to Florida. I ran a marathon yesterday. I literally got home at like fucking 2.5 hours ago. This is definitely inconvenient. But my goals are more important than convenience. What else am I going to do? Lay down on the couch and watch TV with my wife? Like, cool, I'm going to go do that right now. I played pool with my son a little while ago. Like, all good. So I think be actively chasing your goals every single day. Chase them and find something deep down. So when I didn't do my activity, Jalen, if I did the thing on my remove list, which mine was like sleeping in, I used to play in this flag football league. I used to do fantasy football. I used to watch a lot of TV. Those were the things I had to remove. I wish I removed alcohol back then, but I didn't. That would definitely be on a list today. When I found myself doing one of those things on the remove list, the trigger was, John, you don't really mean it when you say you have these goals. You're fucking lying to yourself. So anytime I did something on the remove side, I would guilt trip myself and tell myself I ain't gonna hit my goals. Which my goals were to have my kids in a private school, buy Steph her dream house. I had donations to church as a certain amount. They were like, those are three of them, 5 or 6 I had on there. So anytime I caught myself watching football, I was telling me and my family, yo, he don't really want his kids in private school. He's lying. Anytime I slept in, I was like, yo, Steph, I don't really want to get you your dream house. I was kidding. That's just bullshit on a piece of paper. That's how I do it. So that's what I'll end with, bro.
Appreciate you as always, guys. That's all we have for today. Hope this information was valuable. But I know with John, we appreciate you take the information, you apply it, you tag him on social media saying it's working for you. And I know he actually appreciated folks that are actually applying what he's saying today. So with that being said, guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning, our morning call at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Once again, John, appreciate you, man.